Before you get rid of your paper bags and your cardboard box, think about making something like this beautiful pumpkin for your fall decor. You can sit it about, it has some weight to it, and it's a lot of fun to make. So get your cardboard box, get you a paper bag, and some packing paper. Let's get to making this beautiful DIY for fall. Hi, I'm Elizabeth, and welcome to Dandy DIYer. This fall DIY, we are going to create a pumpkin, and we're going to repurpose one paper sack and a cardboard box. We're getting plenty of these from orders that we get, so grab you one, and when you see how this comes together, you are absolutely going to love it. I'm going to use green and my favorite Waverly Pumpkin Orange. You'll probably need a razor blade so that you can cut your box, and that way you'll have your strips to start making a cardboard pumpkin that is absolutely gorgeous for your fall decor. So that you can get an idea, I'm actually going to use the width of this box. This width is around about 5 inches wide, and it really doesn't matter. When you see this pumpkin, you'll be able to decide how large or how small you want yours as far as the width goes. Now, I am going to cut mine right down through that seam on both of these, and that'll give me these long sections. So let me cut this and I'll show you where we're going with it. Now I've cut that one box into the pieces, and each one of these sections we're going to be rolling up, so it doesn't matter if they're short or long. Long is always great, but you want them close to the same width, and that will make it easier. It does not matter if this side is showing or this side is showing. And this is what we're going to do. We're going to start rolling our cardboard up, and you're just going to roll and roll and roll and keep rolling each section up. Now I have some shortcuts that I'm going to use to make this more simplified, and of course, you know, the longer the strip, the faster that's going to come together. But the idea is to roll them up as tight as you can. Now, what you could do is go ahead and start rolling them together, just like I'm doing here. And that's basically what I'm going to do. I'm just going to roll up these sections and keep them combined, because this is going to be the pumpkin itself. Roll these up, and you can see how quick I've done got those two rolled together. And that's the idea. You roll this up to the thickness that you desire. And once again, it does not matter which side is which, because we're going to be painting this. But I felt that the paper on the inside that's printed would definitely do justice for me. That's just less that I have to try and mask. And just keep going with your rolling. It doesn't matter. You don't have to make the ends meet. And the idea is to try to keep them closely stacked, tight wound, because we're going to need that as far as our thickness. But once you get it to a certain thickness, it's not going to have these little squares, corners per se. It'll actually get round. And that's getting pretty big. So you can go with this width right here, which is what we're going to do. And I think I want mine to be a little bit thicker. Now you can use painter's tape or duct tape. It doesn't matter. You just need it there long enough to serve as a set of hands for you to keep that compact until you start rolling your next thicknesses. And I would put it in the center so it doesn't show out here on the outskirts, where we're going to be actually making our pumpkin look really, really neat. I have mine rolled up really, really big. It's almost 2 boxes. I put some smaller ones in there, and then I took one long, which is the whole center of a box, and did this last one. Now, the way I'm going to do this is this will not be seen, so don't worry about that. But I'm going to take and put some hot glue. I can put this on the bottom. It's not going to be seen, and I'm going to paint it anyway. But what's clever about this is this was the first part where I taped it. So what I'm going to do is kind of manipulate this by taking and putting glue all the way around that, and then I'm going to push it back in to the other rings, and that's just some extra safety catch for me, and that way it stays good and fastened and centered. And you can see it turned out
pretty good. And that will probably, face it looking at this direction. But that internal glue is going to help this first ball that I started before I put the next. Cardboard paints up really, really fast and easy. So it does not matter if you use a large brush or a small brush. The idea is we want to paint this outer edges, the whole round, and then the back side. So I just start going to it, and this, is not hard to do. It'll take it up fast, and like that little piece right there, the paint should lay that little tear down without any problem. So since this will take me a minute to get the paint on, I'll do that off camera. A few tips that I want to share with you on your concern if you should spray paint it or not. Yes, you can spray paint it. It's really quick. As you can see, if you turn your brush on the edge and just focus on getting the edges of this cardboard and make sure that you've got paint on your brush, like the edges of it. It don't have to be all up top. And you see how quick I can get that paint on those edges? That's all you're going to need. You do not need this deeply painted. Because the idea is we want this corrugation to show off, to show that it's actually cardboard that's making this pumpkin. So we'll have our cardboard pumpkin recycling and repurposing all those cardboard boxes we get in. And as you can see, I've already finished this up on this side, and it looks great. I'm going to do the back side because, well, you never know where you might set it over the years as you use it. And even if you don't, if somebody's walking by, then you don't want them to see that. You'd rather them see that. With some Mod Podge to seal it in, and that way it won't be so rough feeling too. And that'll make it easier if I need to knock the dust off of it. My pumpkin is looking fantastic. The Mod Podge is dry, and now we are ready to move on to the stem. Now to make our stem for our pumpkin, now let's say you have a paper bag like this. This is a small luncheon bag, and maybe it's got print on the outside. No worries. All I want you to do is reach in there and turn it inside out. Just like so. Just turn it inside out, because what we are going to do is you have the option to go ahead and paint this brown, and I'm just going to lay it flat and paint it. Mine has a little bit of grease on it. That's common with these bags if you get them from the fast food places, and that's not going to interfere with me painting it at all. I'm not going to be specific. Do not need to be particular on this. You can just run with it, and it just dries so quickly. I have a ceiling fan on in here, and as you can see, it's drying up pretty quick. Of your chalk paints or acrylic paints, we know that chalk paint, gives a better coverage as far as you need a solid color. It just makes it a little powdery because, well, it's chalk paint. Drying here, and it doesn't like much being finished, but while it is drying, I'm going to set it aside. Let's make our leaves. You could use another paper bag to do that, or if you have some packing paper from all those boxes, you could use it. Now we know that our pumpkin leaves are similar to a grapevine leaf or a maple leaf, and basically you could just put some arms on it or not. We do need to leave an area in the back, so try not to be too particular. So I'm going to just kind of draw me what I think it looks like. And I'm going to double up my paper. Cut these out, and they look rough, but I'm going to do my best to just try and glue these two pieces together to kind of give it a little more thickness per se. And all, like I said, they don't have to be perfect because we're actually going to kind of crinkle them up. May even need to trim them off. So that looks okay right there. So I can flip this one over if I need to. And I need to paint these. I'm going to put my avocado on here. It will not take hardly nothing to paint these leaves. I don't know that I'll need to go down this far. Now I have my leaves painted on both sides and they're pretty much ready to go. So I'm going to set those aside. Let's bring our paper bag back over here to make our stem. So basically all we're going to do here is we're going to just pinch the back side of it and start twisting it and twisting it and twisting it. And you can put your hand inside there if you want, it doesn't matter. But the outskirts here is going to be basically how we button it to our pumpkin. So just kind of shape it and just twist it. That's why I suggested painting this before we twisted it. And as you can see, why. So now we have this whole outer part. And if we need to touch that up, we can. And now you have this little bit of texture and different colors going on in there. And we'll be able to glue this down to the pumpkin. So we have our pumpkin here. And we can go ahead and affix our stem onto the top of it. You can turn that going any way that you like. And just glue this into place once you have it setting upon your pumpkin the way that you like. Right now I'm staging it, so I've twisted my stem really good like I want it. I've got that posed there. And then your leaves, as I was saying, we'll probably clip this back part off because we're going to kind of scrunchy it together like this. That's going to shorten it a bit. And you'll just kind of just draw it up and scrunch and scrunch. And like I said, I'll probably cut that part off. Now what you can do here is, if you've shaped yours the way that I have, you can kind of fold that. And that'll help give it some definition in there. If you did it this way, you can also opt to use grape leaves or maple leaves from a craft, some burlap ones or something you might get from Dollar Tree. And I'm sure it's pretty much, I want to just take that square off the back so that I can affix my leaves. And so just stage it out the way that you want to put it. Now I know pretty much where I'm going to put mine, so I'm just going to raise it up and keep that stem right where I want it. Paper is thin, so be careful with your hot glue gun, because you can burn yourself real easy on these paper projects like this, because, well, we're using hot melt at a high temp. If you have a low temp, this is the best kind of project to use your low temp glue guns on, or to lower the temp on your glue gun if you have that option. I would highly, highly recommend it. So now I have my stem looking pretty good, and I'm ready for my leaves. And deciding exactly where I want them to hang. And that looks pretty good back there. And it really just takes a dab. Spread it out and be very careful with that paper. And you can scrunch those up. They look really good when they're scrunched up. Leave them too straight, they don't look as good. Oh my goodness, I am super pleased. I hope that you can see exactly how neat that looks. I want to create a tendril, so cut you off about an 8-inch piece of the rope we get from Dollar Tree. This is also the berry vine that we get from Dollar Tree, this berry garland. But what I'm going to do on it, cut a piece the same length as my rope here. I am actually going to take the berries off of it and use this for another project. I do this a lot. I take these berries out and they really truly just pull on them a little bit and they come right out. These work really good in all kinds of projects, so just hang on to them if you like, or you can dispose of them. Because this doesn't stay wrapped around this rope, glue it to the rope just on one side. It doesn't, you don't have to like be perfect, but do lay down some glue there, kind of get it going. And this is a good time to have your silicone finger covers. A couple on. I've got this one that I think is going to be my main focus, but just in case, I put one on the other side as well. And once you get that going, it lays down pretty easy. Now that looks really good. Got that on there. Now I'm going to take and cut this in half because I want to make 2 of these, and I'm going to do it on an angle, and I recommend you do it as well. It just keeps that rope from fraying as bad on one end, and then you can just twist it around your finger, or you can use a pencil, or you can just do your fingers like that, and they'll make a tendril for you. And now that wire will give it that form, and it gives it that contrast and texture detail like a real tendril. And I'll just hold that in place. So here's a better view of it. Next, let's make us a tag. So you could use a toilet paper roll for the cardboard part to make a cardboard tag. And one that I'm going to do, I'm going to mix it up a little bit, and I'm going to use this cardboard. I like the darkness of this, and I want that corrugated behind it. I'm going to take my spray bottle, and I'm just going to wet this board just a little bit, because I need just this corrugated part that's behind this. And if I get this paper wet, it'll give itself really, really easy. And it only takes just that little bit of water, and you can pull that paper up, and it will give itself very, very willingly. And that's how fast you can get that cardboard. And I want to show off this side, and based on my pumpkin, about half that length or so. Alright, that's looking neat. I want to take me a secondary part, and I can use a piece of this craft paper. So I know I can't go past this point right here. And my brown pad here, this is a Ziggle, and it is a brown pad. It has a metal casing with fabric. One thing that I don't like about it is this plastic piece sits atop, so you know it can dry out really quick. There's no way to fasten it or buckle it down, so that's one thing to be mindful. But I'll put a link to this in the description box below, so that if you want to check it out. Now, I can fix this up a little bit more. Let me first get my words on it. I've got my little wooden stamp set here. You can get these from Temu. You can also get them on Amazon. Comes with this nice little wooden box, and these are only about 1/4 of an inch in height and size, so they're real small, and it doesn't take much to cover a surface, but they are very, very small. And so what I do a lot of times is I use them and then just put them right back in the box. And I know that on my words, I'm going to put Old Pumpkin. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to wet the edges of my paper there, so I can kind of get like a smaller rougheted tear off the edges. So I don't need that much paper there. A lot of times if you do it right, you can take your nail and just pull on it, and don't take much effort when you get it wet. I need to get out my little wet pen from Dollar Tree. You can get those, and you can also have them in art sets. I have one from an art set. Just need to get it out and start using it. Okay, now that's going to give me that rigid look that I like. Almost like it's torn. Corrugated piece back out here. Alright, I like that. Now let's darken this up a bit. Got some inky black. Just spread that out. I always water me down some black, or I take a leftover black paint bottle and just put a little water in it so I can have my natural little inky black for my dry brushing. That's sufficient for that. And I'll show this off. See how that just pops? Just wow. Okay, now let's go ahead and put us some glue on the back of here. Put him on the paper, corrugated paper there. Have our little sign. And put a little hole punch in here and tie it off. Only takes a moment. There we are in business. We need some jute twine. We can tie this baby on. Tells that jute twine is so stiff. It's hard to get it to do anything unless you wet it to tame it a little bit. Just a little tidbit, in case you didn't know that. If you get it a little wet, see how you can get it to do whatever you want it to. Style it in any way. And if it's twisting up on you, if you get it a little bit wet, it'll stop twisting on you. Right there. And that'll hold my tag. That way he'll at least dangle around. I like that. I like that a lot. So what do you think? How do you like our pumpkin we made by repurposing and upcycling cardboard boxes and packing paper, as well as a paper sack and corrugated cardboard to give us that old-fashioned look? And we have gotten this task, this project, complete. I know you'll enjoy this, make you one, and it's got some weight to it too, just so you know. And it looks absolutely fantastic. I am super pleased. I just love it. It looks great. It really does. It looks great. Here's the side and the back. Looks good too. So, there we go. Just a little piece of this and that to give you a primitive, rustic looking cardboard pumpkin. That way you can sit on your patio, under the deck, on the porch, or about the fireplace and about your home. What a nice piece. Be great for an October autumn wedding as a centerpiece. Look real nice. It's not going to blow away.